Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Voice of Influence, episode 7. This is the voices behind my Wednesday Woman Crush. So, from last year, January, every Wednesday, I write about influential people in my space. I believe I have a strong social capital, and Emilia Desiree Atafin is one of them. She's a phenomenal woman, and I'm so excited to have her. She's a Hobson, so I call her Factor. Our motto is
Umbrella.
non-verbal, meaning actions and not words. We are women of substance, and we believe in acting, not just speaking. We'll go straight into the discussion, but before that, I'd like to give a small intro about this whole podcast. The focus of this podcast is mentorship. My mentor, Jim Roy, would always say, study the life of the successful woman or man, do what he does, walk how she walks, talk how she talks, and be successful too. I believe that we can learn from the life stories of phenomenal women like Emilia and learn from even their mistakes such that we don't fall into such mistakes. And that is a form of mentorship. So this evening, I welcome you, my mommy, my most admirable mentor, Auntie Emilia. And I'd like to ask, for those meeting you for the first time online, who is Emilia? Tell us who you are beyond the titles, who is the woman behind the experience, the influence, and the impact. Auntie Emilia, take us away.
Okay, thank you very much, Barbara. I hope I'm audible enough.
You were.
Okay, thank you. And we thank God for today. We thank God for His mercies, and He's brought us to this far. And thank you very much, Barbara, for this opportunity. And you are an amazing person yourself. So, yes, my name is Emilia. I realize that you are attempting to mention my name. So, okay, my name is Emilia Desiree Atafin. I was born on the 3rd of March, many decades ago. I'm the only female in a family of 5. Both parents are late. My father was a soldier and he was a judge of the circuit court in Ghana. And my mother was a receptionist and later on a housewife. So I started school. We lived in Burma camp because my father was a soldier. So we lived in Burma camp. I did my primary education in Burma camp and then secondary in Cape Coast. I think Barbara has mentioned already that I went to Holy Child School. And at that time, it was Holy Child School. And we did up to 6th form. So I did 7 years. And then I went to the University of Ghana for my first degree. And after a couple of years, went back again for my second degree. Yes, and currently studying for another master's degree at the University of Ghana. So that is who I am. I think I left out my employee journey. So I've worked in EcoBank basically all my life.
Wow.
Yes. So Barbara, that is me.
Thank you. You are an embodiment of continuous learning. The last time I spoke to you, you said you are still learning, writing some papers. I was like, wow. That's amazing. Auntie Emilia, so you bring over 33 years of experience within the EcoBank Group, from serving as an executive director and the head of domestic bank at EcoBank Zambia, to acting as the managing director of the Trust Bank during the merger with EcoBank Ghana. What defining moment shaped your leadership journey?
Defining moments. Maybe I'll say moments or different actions. There's really no specific thing, but I've had an interesting journey. Maybe I'll just go through my journey, my work journey, if it's okay with you, Barbara. Okay.
Yeah, very okay.
So
Yeah.
I did my national service with the Ministry of Finance after the university, and I came to EcoBank after that. So I started working in EcoBank after my national service. I went through the Treasury Department and various phases in the Treasury Department, investments, etc. And then I moved on to financial institutions or corresponding banking at the group level. I came back to Ghana. I did compliance. I did compliance, yes, just before the merger process with the trust bank started. And so, as Barbara said, initially I was the head of executive director for administration and finance, and then I became the acting MD for the trust bank. I would say that for all those periods of time, for everywhere that I've worked, you will be able to gather some nuggets of knowledge, how you relate to people, how people relate to you, so you build your interpersonal skills, you build your knowledge, and you realize that wherever you go, you apply whatever you have learned. And in applying, you learn also. So whilst you go through, you are learning and then you are applying. Learning, yes, academically, that is one. Learning on the job, learning people, learning processes, and learning situations and how to handle them. Because different situations come at different times, and you use the experiences that you have acquired over the period to see how to manage the situations that you have. So there's really no one fine thing, but different the changes in the departments, whatever you have learned, how you've learned to relate to people, how you've learned to learn at the feet of people, how people have learned from you. You put that all together and you apply it wherever you get to. So from the Trust Bank, that was when I moved to Zambia. My experience in the trust bank was moving from one institution to another institution, different cultures, different people, but how you manage to get yourself inside that culture, how you work with the people there, really helped me to settle in Zambia quickly. And it also helped me to settle in then 𝐸𝑚𝑒 when I came back to Ghana quickly.
Wow, 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 wow. I've been amazed. Like you mentioned that in all the journey, you are learning about people, you are learning about the job. And I mean, this is so good. It's so good. I'm enjoying the conversation already. So, was there a turning point in your life or your career? Like, was there a turning point, a moment that redefined your perspective or strengthened your resilience or shifted your whole journey?
Yes, definitely. So at a point, I had to change roles. Okay, I think that I was not ready. Well, I thought I was not ready for the change, but on hindsight, I think that the change was good. And so from that change and what I was able to do after the change, I realized that growth is really not linear. Growth is not just a one straight thing. You could grow by going in different directions. You could grow by going in different directions and eventually get into where you want to get to. So it is not necessarily that you have to move from A to B to C. You could move from A to B. Maybe you come down a little bit, but then you move up to D. So I learned that, and I also learned that different people have different paths that they take. So don't think somebody's path should be the same as yours or your path should be the same as somebody else. Just be focused on your path and then go along your path. So the time that I needed to change roles that I thought I was not ready for, but indeed I think that really helped me. I remember one advice I received from a colleague in the bank who told me that whatever it is that you are given, take it and make it your own. And I think that has been very useful for me.
Wow, these are great nuggets. Whatever it is that you are giving, take it as yours. And sometimes we have planned our own journeys in our minds,
Exactly.
but yeah, you don't know how life will take you. And so whichever way it takes you, you must embrace it. I think these are great nuggets. Thank you so much. There's something I've admired about you. I remember so many years ago, maybe you will not remember, but you worked in a Prepo Kumasi branch some years back. I don't know whether you passed through Kumasi and you were supposed to
Yeah.
work. I observed that you were so silent. Like when it's work time, you were silent, and there's this level of maturity in the silence. It doesn't mean that you don't talk, like you know when to talk. It's and so it's like there's some that comes with knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, and it's a rare strength. How have you developed that level of emotional intelligence and discernment in leadership, especially in high pressure environments?
Interesting question. I might not remember exactly that day in Abripo, but I remember going around all the branches in EcoBank. But anyway, I think naturally I am a quiet person. And so a lot of people think that sometimes they can rough ride me. Okay, so naturally I'm a quiet person. Um, I like to be on my own. I like to think through things. Okay, so I like to be on my own. And when I have to do some work, I like to focus and then do the work that I need to do. But I think this all comes with experience over the years. I don't think that I built my emotional intelligence, or what you are calling emotional intelligence, from when I started work. Things that have happened might have taught you to keep quiet certain times. Experiences of other people might have taught you. I like to observe things. I like to observe people. So other people's experiences might have taught you how to manage certain situations. And your own experiences also will teach you how to manage certain situations. Assuming I have two people that I work with, I try to understand the two people. So perhaps the way I'll manage somebody to get the best out of person A will be maybe different from the way I'll manage somebody else to get the best out of person B. So I look at people, I learn people, I try and sometimes I think I overlearn people. So I don't always get it right, but I try to learn people to see how I can work with them. But naturally, I'm a quiet person. I get into character when I have to work. So I make sure that I play my role and play it very well. I am not the person who will speak first in a class or anything like that. I'm not that kind of person, but I will speak if I have to. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
this kind of
Oh
answers
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
question.
I've gotten
Yeah.
it. I've gotten it. I've gotten focus. And the focus is very, very important, because most of the time we get so distracted, especially in open space offices, and the conversation can be so interesting, and keeping mute and staying focused to what you've been tasked to do becomes an issue. So I think the focus there is good, and learning people too is good. I think it's one trait. I also overlearn, but I think it's still a good trait. Thank you so much. So I think we talked about this continuous learning. It's something I greatly admire. I was so surprised the last time I sent you a message when you said, I'm writing the paper. I said, hey, what is Auntie Emilia still learning? Even at the height of your career, you continue to learn and evolve. What drives that hunger for growth?
For me, I think learning is a continuous process. And learning, whether it is academic learning or learning in any other way at all, is a continuous process. We never stop learning, we never finish learning. So I did my master's in finance um, over 20 years ago. I did my master's in finance in the year 2000, I think. Yes, so you've worked with what you have. Then I went into the microfinance space. And so, with all the experience and all the learnings there, I thought it would be interesting to actually see what academia also see in on that front, So kind of merging academia and then merging the experience. Instead of doing the academia before the experience, I've had the experience, and I also want to see from the academia what it is that they see the development space and the microfinance space to be. So that is what kind of interested me. The other learning I did was the digital financial practitioner certificate also. That was when digitization was coming up. Everybody was going digital. That was the way to go. So I also wanted to really understand, what that space was all about. I don't want to be left totally blank when certain discussions are being had or anything like that. So that was also the motivation for me to go into that space to get the certificate to be a digital financial practitioner. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. It's like there's some level of curiosity
Oh,
that you
yes.
always want
Yes.
to know what is in there. And I think it's a
Yes.
good thing. It's really a good thing. Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, so I was already going to ask you a question on as a certified digital finance practitioner who has worked who I have worked closely with. I've seen your openness to digital transformation. How do you see digital finance shaping the future of African banking? And what must leaders do to stay ahead?
Okay. Obviously, to stay ahead, you need to know what's happening. So you must
Yeah.
always at least upgrade yourself in terms of what is happening in the market. But what should we do? From the experience that I've had, we talk about it, how we need to digital finance. Years ago, it was the issue of the ID, at least for Ghana, that we've gone over that ID system. But when you go outside the urban areas, sometimes outside the peri-urban areas, to go to the rural areas, and we are saying that we are trying to bring all these, we are trying to include all these people using digital finance. Systems are not working there. Infrastructure is not solid in those areas. So I think the major thing for leaders, and not just leaders in financial institutions, but leaders and policy makers, to see how we can strengthen infrastructure in those areas where we are saying we want to include the people. Otherwise, we'll go get them on the digital platforms, and then that will be it. We will not see the usage of the platforms that we have. So digitization across, and I think I'm putting a lot more emphasis on financial services digitization is a good thing, but we have to make sure that it cuts across. It's not just in the urban areas, it's not just in the peri-urban areas. We should go outside and actually see how we can be able to get the people in the rural areas on the digital platforms too.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Financial literacy in Ghana is so low, and that's one of the reasons why we are fighting with this cyber fraud and all these issues that are happening, and it's impacting on the financial inclusion. But I believe we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah.
Definitely, because we started from somewhere and then we
Yeah.
moved somewhere and we definitely are on our way. Yes. It's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. I remember you also did the certified gender course, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
I started that course. I think I have a couple more to write to complete it. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So gender inclusion remains central to financial inclusion. From your vantage points, how has financial institution accelerate meaningful gender inclusion across Africa?
Remember that when we're having a chat, I was telling you that this question I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
And I'm not going
Oh,
to
I
answer
didn't
because
check it.
it is actually the topic for my long essay,
Yeah, I've seen
which
that.
I am working on now.
Yeah,
So
I saw that you said it's your long essay, but I didn't know
yes,
you
yes.
really answer. So let
Okay.
me skip
So
it. Don't worry, let me
no, no,
skip
no.
it.
Yes. So I just want to collect more data,
Finish,
put actually a
yeah,
paper
and
together,
finish
then
your
maybe we can
research.
talk about that later. Because
That's
I'm also
fine. That's
curious to see what it is we are doing outside the advertisement and outside the talking to put it actually together in a paper. So permit me to do that, Barbara.
it's fine. I
Okay,
perfectly
thank you.
understand. All right, so I'll talk about leadership. It often comes with pressure and difficult decisions. How have you navigated complex transitions, including measures and high responsibility roles, whilst maintaining composure and strategic clarity?
Pressure, stress. I think it goes with every job, and perhaps the levels are different and the styles are different. In certain positions, whilst you are managing the people, you are managing resources. So you're managing human resources, you're managing financial resources, you're managing fiscal assets, So it's a let me just say it's interesting. One thing is that you have to have people that you work with, people that you trust and you work with who are able to work, because definitely you cannot do it on your own. So far, wherever I've worked, I have had people that I could actually rely on, people that I can trust to be able to get, things done. So that for me has been one way of managing the pressure. The pressure can be tough because you have other stakeholders, you have regulators, so it can come from everywhere. You come out with your people and you stand strong and you smile, but you go back into your closet and you're like cracking your brain to see what you have to do and where you have to go. So you work with people, so letting the people understand what is going on and working together with them for the common good. That's one way. It is not to alleviate the pressure, but at least it reduces it to a large extent. So, and there are interesting ways. For me, praying is also one way of reducing the pressure, and then sharing with my prayer partners some of the issues and then praying with them. So that's also one way. I beg your pardon. One interesting happened during the merger with TTV. So I got in, and of course, it's not like everybody was happy about the merger because there was a lot of talk about some people might lose their jobs and stuff. Okay, so now how to get the people to work, you know, with EcoBank. One morning, I realized that they were having, I think, a prayer meeting. I was at their head office at, what they used to call that place, Fari School. I've forgotten the area, the reinsurance house.
Yeah.
So I realized they were having a prayer meeting and they were singing. So I I asked one of them. I knew one person. He used to play the keyboard. I knew he was in remittances. I knew, no, I think he was the only person I knew. So I asked him, and he said, so I told him, oh, you know what? EcoBank has a choir. Do you people think that you'd want to join the choir? And he said, oh, well, he thought that a couple of people in there would want to join the choir. So quickly I called Afi. Afi works with EcoBank. So I called Afi and I was like, Afi, we have to get some of our colleagues here to join the choir. At least there will be agents to support us to be able to get people with, the measure. They will be able to speak for EcoBank, having come there for rehearsals, blah, blah, blah. So I got him to go into town one afternoon to go and look for uniforms, to get them uniforms, so that we had a couple of them join the choir. And for me, that was very helpful because it broke down some of the barriers. It helped them to realize that we're all the same people. So you manage things in ways, when you get to the situation, God being your helper, you see certain ways of managing certain things. So that was one way that you kind of managed that situation. Yeah. And then
Wow, wow.
when I
I'm
went
listening.
to Zambia, luckily for me, there were other West Africans who were working in EcoBank Zambia. So that also helped to, you know, get the pressure down a little bit there.
Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. I think on your the very first example you gave, I was reading a book that talked about Obama talked about how the most difficult problems come to him because if it was easier, it wouldn't have gotten to him. And the solution is to get intelligent people in the room. So when you mentioned that you should work with the people to get some of the pressure away and to get some of the problems solved, I perfectly agree. And I like how you practicalize the TTB joining the choir and all that just to break the tension. I mean, it's such a good lesson. Okay, we'll move to our next question. So, for someone like me aiming to enter the C-suite job within the next 3 to 5 years, what practical steps, mindset shifts, and competencies must we intentionally build?
The next 3 to 5 years, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. There's nothing that is impossible. Um, I think for one thing, like I mentioned, focus. You focus and don't look at somebody and think, okay, we are the same, but this person, he has moved, so I must move, by fair or foul means. That's when sometimes the foul means comes in. So focus. I'm also of the belief that God is able to move one person from 1 to 5, whilst you are thinking that you'll be going from 1 to 2 to 3. So focus and have integrity. Just make sure that you are who you say you are. Have integrity. Let your work show. I mean, let everybody see that you went to Holy Child. Factor non-verbal. Let your work actually speak for you so that anytime somebody says something about Barbara, oh, okay, the person who does this. So if somebody even wants somebody is expected to do something and they're thinking of anybody, they'll think of Barbara. Okay, so let your work speak for you. Focus, just do what you have to do, have integrity. And I think you should learn also. Learn so that when certain things are being discussed, you are not totally blank. So, yes, from where you are, you could learn a lot of credits and be able to speak credits, but not necessarily being in the credit department. Learn letters of credit, learn operations, be able to speak operations, but not necessarily be in the operations department. So you learn things around you. You're not necessarily in that department, but you're learning the things around you. Some of the things I'm saying I didn't do. So on hindsight, I think that is something that can be done. We all learn on a daily basis. You learn from your past experiences, some of the things that you didn't do that you should do. And then also be there. There was one supervisor that I worked with who said, be the person that when people want a solution, they could come and see you. Okay. So be open that people can come and ask you, people can come and talk to you. And from there, you also are learning from the people when you are open enough for them to come and see you and come and talk to you. Yes.
Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. I like the focus. I also like learn such that even when you are not in that space, you can speak to it. I think
Yes.
it's one thing I'm taking home because sometimes we feel that we want to have an experience in that space and then know that we are in that space, but learn such that you can speak to it even when you haven't experienced it. That's a very good one. And then have integrity. I'm taking all this home and I believe it will work for me. Thank you. So I want to say that many young professionals are watching tonight. What advice would you give the young people who aspire to build impactful careers in banking, in fintech, or generally in the corporate leadership?
Okay. There was one thing that I should just say before I get to this question, Barbara, um, about getting some skill. Okay. That's some of the things that I wish I'd done. Getting skills that you can actually turn to sometimes outside your corporate job. So I think that is also very important. And that's one thing that I wish. There are quite a number of us who are skilled in certain things, but as soon as you get into the corporate space, sometimes you just bury it. Nurture it. I know that sometimes it can affect your work, but I believe that you can find a way to nurture it a little, and it will definitely be useful to you at a certain point in your life. So that's one thing I want to say. For the young people, allow me to clear my throat.
It's necessary.
Quite a number are in a rush. Maybe it's not the people on the call, but quite a number are in a rush to get to a certain point by all means because somebody is there. I think that as you are growing, we've talked about learning the process, getting the experience, getting the knocks from your bosses, learning from your mistakes. As you grow, all these are part of the experience that will help you so that when you get to the top or wherever you get to, you'll be able to apply it. So don't rush so fast or push yourself so that you are not able to get some of these experiences. Learn academically, learn on the job, learn from your friends, but have integrity. That I had said before, it is very important. Have integrity. Let's learn to respect. Respect people's jobs, respect people's opinions. You have your own opinions to respect people's opinions, respect people's jobs, respect people generally, because they are the same people that you need to be able to be successful in whatever you plan to do. So that is also very important. Respect. Learn, respect, acquire knowledge, serve your God. I believe that this will help. By all means, please, and have integrity. Don't post things that you know are not. Okay? Let's have integrity. Let's learn. I don't want to say let's be quiet. No, not quiet, but quietly learn from others. Don't be too loud. That's for me. You can decide to be, but don't be too loud. Quietly learn from others. So the points that you become loud, it is just clear. But it is important to stay, to learn, to know, to grow. I've seen quite a number of people in EcoBank who have done that, and their growth is beautiful. They have learned over the period, and now their growth is beautiful. So I think it's something that can be done, and that would be the advice that I would give.
Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. Learn to grow, learn quietly. Don't rush. I- Respect and have integrity. Wow, these are great, 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 great words. Oh, I don't know how to say it, but I'm carried away. And I'm stimulating everything that you are giving us tonight. So I'll give the last, I think, two questions, and we are done. I want to. I know you love you are a proud Hobson, a proud Hobson.
Definitely.
Yeah. How has the foundation of Holy Child School shaped your confidence, your discipline, and leadership identity?
Thank you very much. I know you're also a proud Hobson.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay, so that is Holy Child School in Cape Coast. And for
Yeah.
us, the days that we went there, we actually went there for either 5 years or 7 years. So having to stay with people for 7 years, different people from different backgrounds, I think that learning experience was also good. You are able to understand different people from different backgrounds. Sometimes, whilst you are there, you don't think that you were learning anything, but on hindsight, you realize that you are able to interact with other people quite well. That was one. Secondly, there was a lot of discipline. You had to wake up by the rising bell by a certain time. You had to eat at a certain time. In fact, you had to sleep at a certain time and wake up. You have to have siesta at a certain time and wake up. So that discipline really helped us. But for me in particular, I'm very, very particular about timing. So if my meeting is at X time, it is at X time. If we are closing, that is what it is. So it's kind of shaped us, to very disciplined people. Whilst you are there, people try to be naughty and stuff, but no, at the end of the day, they're all the same. I remember we have this joke about walking on the grass. We don't walk on the grass. Absolutely not. And so I still have that at the back of my mind. I don't walk on grass because we are not supposed to walk on grass. So certain things tune your mind. They shape you into who you have to be. I look at my friends, I look at my colleagues, and you can see that it is the training that we had there that has shaped us to who we are. Even though we are all in different careers, different things, different, but we still have the kind of, holy child training that we received, especially the discipline to do with timing and discipline to do with what you have to do and when you have to do what you have to do.
Oh, wow, wow, amazing. And it's been so many years, but whatever was instilled in you is still in you. And
It is.
it has, yeah, that's a good one. That shows that we must be intentional about creating, instilling good values in the younger people as well. Yeah, so I want to talk about my book. You were such a great support to me on my 40th birthday. I was so happy to see you. It meant so much to me, and you graciously patronized my book. Things don't just happen, they happen just, which I truly appreciate. I just want to know what stood out for you most about the book. What was there a favorite story or a lesson that resonated deeply with you? And would you recommend it to our audience tonight? If yes, why?
This is a loaded question. Eh? Yes. The book, I saw the book and I was like, okay, Barbara, this is amazing. First of all, a general review of the book. I think that the language was simple. The language was simple. The writing was also simple. So kind of you pick it up and you don't want to put it down. You want to kind of, okay, let me finish with this. Okay, let me read the next chapter. Okay, let me read the next chapter. You pick it up and you don't want to finish with it. You pick it up and you just want to go through it all and then finish. I think you did a good job. Well done. I mean, it was a good
Thank
book,
you.
different
Thank
topics, but nonetheless, it was interesting. Okay. What stood out for me was your experience when you also had to, I think, change roles at a certain point in your career. So I read it, I was like, okay. Because as I've mentioned today, I also had to change roles. And at that time, I thought it was not the right thing for me. But even before, I mean, during the process, I realized that it was good. So the time that you change roles and what that has done for you, even now, for me, that stood out for me. And I thought that was my best story. that really stood out for me. And I thought it was good.
Uh,
And another one was when you found, should I say, a side hustle.
yeah.
And how you found the side hustle and how you got the side hustle. I think that was also very interesting. The lesson
Yeah.
for me there is we shouldn't just downplay everything or every experience that we have or people that we meet or anything because you don't know what it is that you're going to get out of it. You'll be amazed what eventually you get out of perhaps somebody you met, somebody you came into contact with or anything like that. So those two things stood out for me in the book, and I think that was an amazing. In fact, the thought of even writing it is wonderful, Barbara. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. In fact, when I wanted to do my 40th birthday, anytime I thought about the book, it gave me so much stress.
Mm,
But you won't believe that somebody like my dad was, even when I was telling him, "Oh, I'm having a big party, you should come," he always said he will not come. And so I told him that, "Oh, I've written the book." He said, "I will be there." And I know
mhm.
that most of you came because there was a book. So I was like, "Oh, really?" In fact, my first invitation didn't even have the book launch on it because I was like, "What is all this?" But I
Oh,
didn't know that that was the inspiring part of it. Thank you so much for the immense support. Thank you for reading. Thank you for saying all these kind ways. I'll put the link there in case anybody wants an e-copy or a hard copy. You
yeah.
can contact me. There are nuggets of lessons in there. And I think before you answered one of my questions, you spoke about skills of work. And I
Yes.
think it's very, very important. Some of
Yeah.
these, even what I'm doing now, it can fall into moderation, it can fall into emceeing, it can fall into developing public speaking
Mhm.
skills, it's into mentoring, it's into so many things. And I loved what you said that sometimes even focusing on your skills can affect your career some way, somehow. But you should have a way to develop your
Yeah.
skills aside. Yeah, and it's even biblical. These are like they are stewards of whatever talents God has
Yeah.
given us
Giving.
and will be
Yes.
accountable to them. It's not just about I'm a banker, so you go work and come back home. One day, like the talent, the parable of the talent, God will ask, "This gift that I gave you, what did you use it for?" And sometimes when we hear that story, we think that that wicked man who buried that, the man who said, "I thought you were a wicked man, so I buried it." I'm
Yes.
sure we'll say same. We may not say I thought you're a wicked man, but what we are doing by not using our skills is like we didn't even see the
Burying it.
value of what God had
Hmm.
given us.
Sure.
And we would be accountable to it. So it's a
Yeah.
great reminder that you are telling us, the young people, to develop our skills
Yeah.
quietly and grow quietly. Yeah, so I mean, I'm really enjoying the conversation. I will. I'm going to give the last question, and I'll say that I count it all joy. I count it as a privilege to have you here today. I'm so excited. But if you could leave us with one powerful leadership principle, something every emerging leader must hold onto, what would it be?
I'd say integrity.
Wow.
I'd say integrity. Just who you are. Yeah. That's very important. So I'm not Emilia to you and I'm somebody else at another place. Integrity. So the same person here. Even when I go to church, I'm the same person. So I don't behave differently when I'm in church and behave differently when I'm in the office. So be who you are and trust God.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. I've seen some ladies saying, "I'm online, I'm enjoying the conversation." Thank you. Today we decided to keep it short because My mentor here has another call. She's a busy woman, but even though
Please
it's short,
having me.
I can see someone saying my big takeaway from today's voices of influence is have integrity and quietly learn from other people. Don't be too loud. Yeah, thank you, Manuela, for reiterating it. Thank you so much. So, Auntie Emilia, I think this alone, it's an impact. It's a way of giving back. And I believe you've even won a crown in heaven today because you gave back to us. Yeah, we've learned a lot. 33 years of experience, and these words resonate so much. And I would like to say, God bless you for your time. I'm so excited. I never thought you would even have the time. I never thought you could even accept this invitation because I know how busy your schedule is. But I'm so grateful to you. I believe we've all learned something. And so I want to say a big thank you. If there are anything that you want to add, you can add. Otherwise, we'll be bringing this to a close.
So I want to say thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara. I know this has been long in coming. Thank you for the opportunity. Finally, we made it. And sincere apologies for the time. I just need to catch up with someone else who's giving me a scheduled time. So that is why I had to. I'm glad I've been able to share a little.
Yeah.
Um, I hope that there'll be another opportunity where we can share some more, but I hope that whatever I think I have shared, even I might not have been able to do all when I was in certain positions, but I've learned also from what I have not been able to do and what I've been able to do. So I want to thank you. I want to thank God once again for this opportunity and say, God bless you too. And I pray that whatever it is that you're doing, you'll be able to go from leaps and bounds. So thank you very much, Barbara. And
Thank you
good
so
evening,
much. Thank
everybody.
you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. It's bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Barbara.